I'm here with Georgia Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner John F. King. Commissioner King, thank you so much for talking with us today about, fire safety, especially coming up on New Year's Eve when so many people are lighting fireworks. Even tonight, people will probably be setting fireworks off into the air. So I guess just want to hear it from you first. Is this a time where your office is really on high alert with all of these, fireworks and the potential for these fires to start?
Absolutely. We're very sensitive. We want to make sure that everybody has a joyous occasion, that that you're enjoying time with your family and celebrating. And it would be an absolute tragedy for this beautiful season to be marred by tragedy, especially with the use of fireworks. And that's one of the concerns that we have as the supervising the state fire marshal's office.
Yeah. Could you tell me just a little bit about what the risks are with this and just how much of this issue you see around this time?
No, thank you. You're right. We just saw how the winds came through, swept through Georgia. And so anytime you're using fireworks, just, be aware of the wind can carry a firework into an unintended area, especially with all the dry leaves and all the pine trees that we have. It just makes a ready, combustion that could cause a fire. We ask people to just be aware of the wind condition. Make sure you have plenty of distance between you and potential trees and homes. Uh, have a water source, a bucket of water, just in case something happens. And then if you have a fire extinguisher, have a fire extinguisher handy when you're using fireworks. Probably the most important thing to do is make sure that when you purchase your fireworks, make sure it's from somebody that is licensed by the state of Georgia as a distributor. That ensures that the fireworks, at least meet minimum standards, safety standards across the nation. We know that people, like to go across the river and buy, but we just ask you to please be careful. Make sure you buy your fireworks from reputable locations that understand the standards. And make sure you do not allow a child to use the fireworks. It's first of all, it's illegal, but it's incredibly dangerous. You wouldn't believe how many injuries we get reports from hospitals where kids were, handling fireworks, held on to the fireworks while they were igniting, and did not anticipate how quickly those fireworks are going to go off and they cause injuries. And so most of this is common sense, but we try to remind people because every year we have an incident of the same injuries happening over and over again.
Yeah, is that something that kind of does happen every year? Is, even though, like you said, it is common sense, this is something that your office deals with?
Yes, us and of course your local fire department, the fire, they're the ones having to respond initially to these calls, and so they're going to be overwhelmed. Not only that, but also your law enforcement officers throughout your region and throughout Georgia will be responding to shots fired, and of course those consume precious resources that need to be saved for real emergencies. And so we ask people to be cognizant of that, and also be aware that the fireworks also affect our pets. And so just be aware that if you start, using the fireworks, be responsible and be considerate of your neighbors because they have pets, they have children, and just be respectful.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned the winds and the dry conditions that we have right now. And you said, make sure that you have a water bucket, make sure that you have a fire extinguisher nearby. Is this a time where people should really not hesitate maybe to call the fire department if something does break out just because of the chance for it to spread so quickly with the conditions we have right now?
Absolutely. The sooner you can put out the fire, and if it gets out of your capabilities, call in your first responders to come out and put out the fire. Because if you wait, you hesitate, these things spread like, very quickly, and they can affect people's lives.
Yeah. Um, Could you tell me a little bit about how your office helps with, if there are unfortunate injuries or losses like we've seen in the past, just what your office does in the aftermath of that?
Well, yes. Most people think, well, I'm the insurance commissioner. Well, we also the Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner's Office. And so we support every local fire department, every city, every county across Georgia with not only arson investigations, specialized investigations. Anytime there's a fatality, we assist the local authorities in helping with those to determine the cause of the injuries, the cause of the fire, if they're suspicious if the fire is of suspicious nature, we go and assist the local first responders and being able to determine that. But more importantly, we also work very closely with the local fire departments on educating the public to prevent injuries, before we have a major injury. And so it's important for us to try to, and this is the purpose of we try to engage with you today, is to try to help people understand the responsibility, but also the danger of using fireworks.
Is there anything that you would say to people who maybe aren't even lighting fireworks, but people in their neighborhood or nearby might be, just to keep everybody safe across our area?
I think it's important to have a conversation, especially in the daytime with your neighbors. We all know this that neighbor next to us, they does fireworks every year. We get it. We don't want to ruin anybody's, fun time. Just a conversation. Hey, let's make sure you're being safe. Or if you see something unsafe, reporting that. But a conversation, having a consideration of a good neighbor always goes a long ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's good on my end. Is there anything that you want to hit on before we're done here?
Well, please, if there's any questions or any please have people reach out to our office. Garrison will share our website, our phone number. We love to be able to engage. Anybody has any questions? This is our job: is to promote safety, not getting in the way of people having fun and celebrating, but also making sure that we're all responsible.
Absolutely. So just to recap the big things, make sure that you have a way to put out the fire, whether that be water bucket or fire extinguisher. Make sure that you're buying from reputable fireworks shops, and making sure that responsible people are setting off the fireworks
Yeah,
and not children. Is that correct?
that is absolutely correct. You hit it.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for
All right.
talking
Thank you
with
so
us.
much. I
Appreciate it.
appreciate the opportunity to chat with you, and happy New Year to all the folks in Richmond and Columbia County. So thank you.
Absolutely. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Take care.
Yep, you too.